All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Tellor community call, 4/20, 2021. Doge Day, as many of you have all realized. So it's a really good day. Tellor price is doing well, so it's hard, like whenever it goes up really high, to stay focused on dev tasks, but that is our challenge for the day. We have lots of stuff to do. So just to kind of talk you guys through some of the initial developments, what we're sort of working on, and then we'll introduce you guys to our new team member, Tim, and then we'll take some of your questions. So yeah, so the first things, there's a hackathon going on. I don't know, Ryan, do you want to say anything about the hackathon or where people can find out about it?
Yeah, scaling Ethereum through ETH Global. So it started last week, April 16th. It's going to be going through May 13th. So nice, substantial long one, but just to kind of help build out the foundation for, upgrading Ethereum scalability, ETH2. So glad to be a part of that. We're sponsoring it, and we're doing a challenge on building on the fellowship, which we have been talking about the past couple of weeks. So excited to see what comes out of it. You can find it at scaling.ethglobal.co.
Yeah. No, thanks. It's super cool because it's like the first hackathon that we're doing that's like, you don't have to, the eventual product isn't a main chain Ethereum product, hopefully. We're trying to find some other people, and it's, to be honest, like, nowadays, like if you want to launch on main chain Ethereum, like you're probably not a hackathon project because it just costs so much in gas to deploy on main chain Ethereum. But like in the past, like hackathon projects had led to really great things. So being on other chains where it's really cheap to deploy, a lot of times these hackathon projects turn into like, hey, why not deploy it and see if it gets any traction, since it doesn't cost anything. And a lot of times they do lead to a lot of traction. Like Uniswap, for instance, was a hackathon project, and Tellor, the initial idea for Tellor came out of a hackathon project, and lots of different projects come out of them. So hopefully we can just kind of build some relationships and get that going. So thanks. Other things we're working on kind of on the dev side. So I'll be, over the next 2 weeks, we're going to be buttoning up the Tellor 3 contracts. So this is kind of the version of Tellor. We're doing one final upgrade before we just let it go, and it's kind of, we're done with the migration process. So we're making some tweaks. We're going to update the white paper just on the governance processes up there, and nothing substantial. And then working with the migrator pieces. So allowing people to migrate. We're almost all the way migrated to begin with. And we just want to sort of take out any ability for any of that stuff to go bad, even if there are any sort of malicious parties. So that's going to be kind of what we're working on over the next 2 weeks, and then we'll be pushing that live. So that's super fun. But if you're interested in helping audit it or code it up, let us know. And then last but not least, we have a new employee. So we have, I know we've introed most everyone else, but we have Tim. So Tim will be working on the dev team with us. We met him, if you guys remember Tellor 2, so we built a Tellor system for the then Matic chain. Tim helped us out with that through Raid Guild, and then we kind of kept to reach back out whenever we started hiring again, and here's Tim. Anything you'd like to introduce yourself? Say whatever you want to the community. Tell us a little bit about what you want to work on, or how you kind of get things going.
Yeah, thank you. Again, I'm Tim. I'm excited to be here, part of this team. And yeah, I came from Raid Guild as a Solidity developer, and did a lot of projects focusing on crypto economics, and I'm just excited to contribute everything I can to the exciting projects here at Tellor. So thanks.
Cool. What was the first crypto you bought? We'll have to ask that question.
Let's see. I think I bought some Bitcoin back in like 2013. Not that much.
So what was your first non-Bitcoin or ETH purchase?
Let's see. It might have been some Augur.
Oh, cool.
Might have been. I think it was that.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike was a big XRP holder, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can make fun of him for that.
I had some XRP at some point, and actually, at some point when it was going up, I sold it. Yeah, so
nice.
I got out of there fast though.
Yeah, and then so Tim's going to be working with us a lot on the Solidity stuff. Hopefully we can, since he works with a lot of other projects, we're going to kind of be hoping to integrate with a lot of those projects, and Tim will be an important part of that. And then the one question I think I've asked other people, if you had the free time and money to do it, what would you build if you could build anything, sort of in crypto land, obviously?
Sorry, it cut out a little bit. You said if I could build anything.
Yeah.
What would I build? I'm really interested in kind of law. I don't know, there's different ideas I've had of like creating kind of like regular language, English language contracts, but enforced by smart contracts. So just kind of allowing arbitrary agreements between people. And
cool.
Yeah, that's something along those lines.
What I think Consensus is doing a project like that with like their smart formally verified legal language, something like that.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I think they're Open Law, I think, is the project.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, super cool. Anyway, well, it's great to have you, Tim. Anybody, so he's at Heavy Chain on Telegram and Discord. He'll be very soon a moderator in the channels. Feel free to reach out to him, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask here or whenever. He'll be around. So now let's hop into the questions. We actually have 10 questions, so decent day. Okay, so a really long one. Why is there not enough focus on finding customers and partners? Tellor and Band acquired partners a year ago. Anyway, a long one. They said apparently has to do with their philosophy, but we know that you guys should be marketing more and finding a good headhunter and a good marketer to find people. So there's actually a lot of questions. So we can, we have another question that says like, why doesn't Tellor do marketing? Good coin with decent potential. Another question is, now I have to ask something regarding marketing. You said that we need to do more marketing. You guys are throwing away good news by not marketing it. Okay, so we get this one actually a lot, as far as like why Tellor doesn't do marketing, and I think it's just different. We have general philosophies about just what we're trying to build and who the people in our community are that we're trying to get. A lot of times marketing in the space has turned into just shilling. It's this bad coin go up, trying to find speculators to buy your coin and be bag holders in your community, and that's something that we really wanted to fight against early on, and have kind of our marketing and everything that we put out sort of reflect that. I know Mike isn't here and he's the one who sort of heads up a lot of it, but from the beginning we didn't want to be one of those coins that you have an email conversation with somebody, so you announce a partnership and then you have you post unsubstantiated news or things, try and make a big deal out of things that aren't, and get those people in your community, because honestly, it just distracts from the overall purpose about what you're trying to build. We're trying to build something that actually gets used. We're trying to build something with good tech, and we're trying to build a good community of people that want to see this get built. The more sort of people you bring on, if they see this, it's this FOMO type thing where partnerships are growing even though they're not, and everyone needs to get in the coin, they come to expect that. So then if you pause on the updates, then your whole community is just there for the price action, and they leave, and it's just not sort of the community that you want, or the community that we want to build. That said, there is still a place for marketing. As Ryan was even saying, so we're sponsoring a hackathon now. Those are good people that we want to try and bring in. We reach out to every single project we can find on the Ethereum or non-Ethereum blockchain that we think could possibly use an Oracle, and we talk to them, and we start trying to build relationships with their founders. If you guys want to help us do that, that's where we think we stand the best chance of succeeding, is actually telling them why. Nobody uses, picking an Oracle for your smart contract system. Like if you're talking about getting an actual user, this is a key component. This is like such a big deal, being the Oracle for some one of these projects. It's like a make or break thing. You don't pick it because you saw a tweet. You want people to know about you. We're at a place where there's a lot of good name recognition. Maybe we could get a little bit better, but most of the bigger projects know about us, and they at least look into us and reach out to us. And that's where you have the conversation about what are the nuanced differences between you and Chainlink, between you and Band. And that's where we have to sell them. We have to tell them, this is why you should care about decentralization. This is why our code actually makes sense, and this is what you should be building. We might not be able to give you a grant or hype your retweet to as many people as Chainlink, but if you want something that's built in and secure, this is where it comes in. So hopefully that answers your question. Brenda or anyone else want to add anything, feel free.
I think, I just want to reinstate what you just said about the hype. Really, quick partnerships, and we've had that in the past where people approach us and they're like, can we just do an announcement? Literally, like after a first meeting, they have no code in place. We don't even know if it's going to happen. And I know that there's been a few times where we've talked to them, and then, you don't know if they're going to actually become a project, or if they're just going to become like a quick hype to basically dump on their investors and their users. And we just don't want to be part of that. So that's one of the reasons we kind of take it a little bit slower. And sometimes that, turns people off. But in the end, for growth, we need people to actually use TRB. And that's actually what's going to drive, use of it, demand for it, and eventually price. So if we actually only announce when we're actually being used, that is actually something that we can see as long-term growth, and not just like a big hype where like the price is going to drop back again. Now, I take no, I don't know why the price sometimes moves the way that it does. There is a lot of speculation in the space, but in general, that's what we want. We want something that just continues to grow, and there's a foundation for it, not just big hype and then it disappears, and then everything goes with it. So yeah, I don't know.
No, thank you. Okay, next questions. We got another marketing one. Somebody typed one word, Verist. Another marketing question. Are you planning on updating your website? It's getting old. Other projects have very flashy websites. I think we updated like 6 months ago. Or well, I guess it was probably like September now. So yeah, I guess September was forever ago in the space. So we'll need to rehash it. We are working on it though. We're doing right now we have our designer, he's working on a Tellor scan revamp, so the UX for the users, and then we'll probably circle back to doing the main website. Because sort of Tellor, even over the past, since September, you know, we have the fellowship, we have Chorus, a lot of kind of different pieces other than just the main Oracle. So we're probably going to have a website that sort of more reflects that. So good question though. Next one was another one of the marketing ones. Next one, Chainlink recently launched Chainlink 2.0 white paper. What do you guys think they're trying to solve, and is Tellor able to solve the same problem? Okay, so I don't know how many of you read Chainlink's white paper or saw that they even had a white paper out. I don't know how much, I really had to hold back in any sort of angsty tweets I had about the Chainlink white paper, but I'll just give you guys my thoughts on the Chainlink white paper real fast. So the basics of the Chainlink white paper are they were going from this system to where their old system is that they have these whitelisted nodes to where the Chainlink team whitelists who controls, you know, say these 21 nodes, and they get a push to the ETH US dollar price. Everyone pushes, I guess they batch the signatures now and they all push on chain or to a different chain, you know, Ethereum, Binance chain, wherever, but it's all sort of regulated by the Chainlink community. The newer model is they're going to start not just one group of nodes whitelisted by them, but they're sort of going to have multiple different groups. They're called decentralized Oracle networks, which are going DONs, which by the way is a ripoff of Witnet, who had decentralized Oracle network, or the DON, well before Chainlink. But they would basically, each of their little ecosystems would almost be like a verified chain in and of itself, and then they would batch those results and push them on chain. Now, and then they went, it is a 136-page white paper. They then went on to say all of the different things. So, you know, the TLS nodes, the VRF, and how the new system will work better with them. And it like really, it was a whole lot of information that, like, well, of course, if it works, like you can do a whole lot of things with it. The problem is that once again, with their pieces, they like glossed over a lot of the really important details about how the entire thing is actually going to work. Because if you're following like Witnet's development and things like that, if you have a separate blockchain, that you can have a blockchain where the miners all agree on, you know, you could use like Bitcoin, for instance, and they all agree on on the price of Bitcoin. That would be the easiest. They all agree on, or the price of the S&P 500. It's this proof of work network, and it's a separate blockchain, and it's super secure, using like the newest proof of stake or even proof of work, doesn't matter. The problem is that now you have this blockchain network that has this data, and then you have Ethereum, which is the apps that need the blockchain data. So you actually need an Oracle to get data from your Oracle network. And it's really hard to do it in a trustless manner. And they sort of don't go over the exact, they sort of say that they've figured it out, but that there's not, you know, it has something to do with staking. They don't give staking amounts. If you know, Chainlink nodes still don't stake. And they say that at some point there will be staking even on the newer one, but they still just don't go into the details, like what's the staking, what's the penalty time, like how long, how fast is this thing? Like the idea in general, like a lot of people have played around with the idea of having these, basically you have a separate blockchain that is your Oracle network, and then you push sort of hashed results of, you know, sort of proofs onto Ethereum that people can hash and verify that it's accurate. That makes sense, but there's a whole lot of details that have to be worked out for it to be trustless. And that's what they haven't figured out yet. So that said, yeah, so I think they're still just trying to solve the Oracle problem. You know, in practice, the way it'll probably be still, you know, a whitelisted network that pushes values to different chains. I think it might be, it'll probably save them some gas. And it'll sort of, yeah, obfuscate farther sort of what actually is going on and who the trust falls on, but it's still, you know, until you really have it's open to everyone, it's not really a decentralized network. It's still just sort of whitelisted, and it's a long way to go for them before it's really, you know, it's still just relying on kind of Chainlink. So that's my thoughts on their white paper. Almost, you can usually use like a rule of thumb thing. Like if the paper is really long and confusing, even for people who have been deep in the space, and you don't know why it is, it's probably not a good paper. Like, you know, look at like the Bitcoin paper. It's like nice and short and concise. Like those are the good white papers you want to read, not these really long marketing proposals about how you're going to solve the world's problems. So that said, yeah, I think we're going to start brainstorming the next version of Tellor here soon. Hopefully in like a month or so, we can release kind of like a draft white paper on that, and hopefully you guys can sort of feel the difference in kind of the approaches. So, okay, any other comments? Anybody else read the Chainlink white paper and have a comment? No. I know I sent it to you guys, so I know I know you guys just don't want to talk about it. Anyway, next one, last question. What exchanges now host TRB coin? Most of them. You know, we're still waiting on the US exchanges, but Binance, I think, Binance and Uniswap are usually the big places to go. So a lot of different exchanges. So if you have any requests, let us know. We can try and reach out to them, but it is semi-easy to get the TRB coin now, if you so desire. So yeah, that's about it for the day. Thanks everyone for joining. I think next week I want to do a tech call about something. So to explain to Tim, usually like once a month we do like a more deep dive into a technical subject. And that should be good. So we'll see you guys then. Hopefully keep watching those tickers. We'll be a triple-digit coin here soon enough. Thanks everyone for joining. Talk to you later.
Just kidding.
Yes, not giving financial advice.
Yes, no.
So, see you guys.